Hey guys, I'm back with another action figure review, and this time we're going to take a look at the GameStop exclusive DC Collectibles Batman Arkham Knight Red Hood figure. And if you watched my last haul, you knew this review was coming, but otherwise, I'm sorry I've interrupted my little Marvel Legends series of reviews, but I just really like this figure, and I wanted to review it. I wanted to review it sooner, actually. I picked it up last week? Sometime last week now. And it's such a cool figure. So I will be doing my Marvel Legends right after this, but until then, here we go. So we got the package here before we jump into the figure. It's a pretty cool package, actually. It's like the Capullo series packaging, only Arkhamized, if you want to make that a word. You got, because the Capullo series is the very like white packaging, like the rest of the DC Collectible stuff, but this you have like the darker look going on. It's basically like the actual like bat suit going around the package. So you have the chest piece here, and then it like you see just like the armor kind of go down the sides, and then you have Batmobile in the back there. You have this side panel here, Red Hood, Batman Arkham Knight logo, all the warnings and stuff, peeled back, still here. Then you have right here GameStop exclusive. You have it again on the side, GameStop exclusive, DC Collectibles, Red Hood. And then you got some cool, like, wireframes, I guess, or something, I guess you could call that, on the side here, instead of your typical kind of shot of the character or the figure. I guess this is kind of like a mesh of the character, like a 3D mesh of the character design from in the game, which is pretty cool. I mean, this is like a unique kind of feature to a video game character that I think is a nice touch, as opposed to, you know, just your normal shot of the character. I love how they do these logos in a gloss. This is just tape, but this logo is glossy on the front too, and then everything else is flat. And then, you know, the side there. But then you have the back. Again, you have the 3D mesh in the background. And then you have Series 1. Batman in his Arkham Knight suit. The Arkham Knight, who I believe was postponed. And according to my buddies who actually play this game, Rob and Anthony and everyone, it may be because he might be Jason Todd or the Red Hood, and they might be the same character, and then they didn't want to spoil it by comparison of weapons and stuff, so blah blah blah. They postponed this, I guess, till after the game's coming out. Scarecrow, which Rob just reviewed, I believe, and I think his review of Harley Quinn is also up, so if you're looking for those, check them out. I don't think I'll be picking up any more of these figures, and not sure if I think Todd wants the Scarecrow, so I might be reviewing that one in the future. But I picked this one up simply because I just love the character design, and even though I don't really play the games or collect like the Arkham series as a whole, I just love this Red Hood design, so I wanted to grab it. Sculpted by Gentle Giant Studios, if you are curious. And that's it. So we'll take a look at the figure now. Like I said, I don't really play the games. Todd does. He's looking very forward to the Arkham Knight game. I know Rob's Rogues and ODC That's Me are also psyched. So, yes. I know there are talks about a Rogue show possibly about the game. I'm not sure if we're all going to take part, or maybe just Rob and Anthony will do a show together about it coming up on the game's release, so keep an eye out for that if you're into it. Otherwise, yeah. But, like I said, I love the character design for this. I think it's such a cool kind of mix of, like, the kind of like the Grant Morrison design of Jason Todd Red Hood with, like, the gray and the black, gray and the red, but then you have the jacket, like his later designs, and you have some armor that's kind of like, it brings it into like the Arkham universe. Some of the colors are different. Like, I like the jacket colors as opposed to just the brown or gray or something. I like kind of like the two-tone with the red underneath. I mean, I guess the idea is he's wearing like a red hoodie and then he's wearing a leather jacket over it, which is kind of cool. I guess, I mean, I kind of like think the whole like Red Hood thing is redundant because he has a red mask still. So, like, he's, like, the double Red Hood now. But I love it anyway. And, I mean, honestly, this hood piece is just, like, lightly glued in. So if you wanted to basically kind of rip it out, you could without ruining the figure. I've seen some people with it detached. But I think it looks cool. It might be redundant, but it's cool anyway. It kind of looked still... You know, you can't see his eyes either way, but it just still gives you kind of like that more air of mystery. I guess I'll touch on the accessories actually while I'm here. I usually do those first. So he doesn't come with anything other than these two guns, but they're pretty darn cool. They are both the same, so you have two of the same gun, and they're very detailed, and they're very big. I mean, I know you saw them in his hands, but like, with the width of his chest and like, you know, bigger than his head. So I don't know what kind of gun it is, you know me, but very big, very detailed. Nice, cast in a nice metallic silver. You got brown handles with little, even the little rivets are painted in there, sculpted. I think they're just painted. And then you got this little logo on there in red on both sides. Again, lots of detail. And he's just got a red, like, paint mark up here. But yeah, they're both the same. What's interesting is this logo. A lot of people are saying it's more of a bird than a bat, which is cool for Jason Todd because he was a robin, aka a bird, and so it makes more sense than a bat logo. But I have to be a little bit honest here and say I'm not totally sold that it's supposed to be like a bird and not a bat. I still think it kind of looks like a bat. Maybe I'm just a dummy. But I think, well, I think it's, I mean, if anything, I think it's a hybrid of a bird and a bat. Like, I mean, you know, a bat's close enough to a bird as it is. I guess they both have wings and fly around and stuff. But, like, I can definitely see what people are saying. Like, it, especially on the gun where it's, like, very sharp edges and everything. Focus? I can see that. I guess it looks like a bird, but I mean, I think it's like a bird bat, a brat. I don't know. But it's interesting. It's a nice little twist on the typical, like, just bat logo plastered on them. So we'll take a look at some of the details here. And when I say some, I mean all, because they're all so awesome, and there's a lot of them. So we'll take a look at the mask here. It's painted a really gorgeous metallic red. And he's got these, like, kind of, I guess they're like breathing kind of apparatuses on each side, and he's got this like beak, sort of, not really a beak, but point that comes out at the chin. And if I remember correctly, then Arkham Knight also has this design, so this is something that people are like, oh well, his mask kind of looks like the Arkham Knight mask without ears. So food for thought. But yeah, I'm trying not to be rough on this hood because I do not want to detach it, and I don't want to, but it is just glued in here at the sides, but you can pull it back a little bit, and you can see that he has, like, all sorts of sculpting and painting details even in there. He's got, like, silver, like, latches sort of looking things, and he's got silver on the bottom of the helmet, too, so that's really cool. I think this looks cooler than the Mattel version of the figure, for sure, which is, you know, 3 3/4 inch, and I don't like them anyway. So, yes. And then the hood itself is just a matte red, light flexi rubber. The chest is this light gray with all these, like, wrinkles and rivets and everything, all detailed and painted really nicely. You've got just, like, a little patch here. The sides are really cool. They have this, like, what's this called? Quilted, like, pattern on each side, and it's painted really nicely. You can see the peg holes where the ab crunch are in there, but you don't see them when you have the coat on. It's got a big high collar, two-tone paints, and yeah, he's got this, this, like, strap detailing across the Batbird logo, which looks really cool. I'm not sure. I would think this kind of, like, detailing would be for, like, a holster or something, but he doesn't have a holster, like, on his back or on his sides or anything. Oh, speaking of holsters, he doesn't have any for his 2 guns. Now, I know, like, Rob and Anthony and I talked about this, and they both touched on it in their reviews. I honestly, like, I mean, we first of all, we haven't seen the finished, like, character design. If they're trying to be 100% accurate, maybe he doesn't have holsters in the game. I don't know. I can't imagine he would be carrying these and not having holsters, but if he does have holsters, it might be that these guns are so big that if they gave him some kind of holster, it would look just really awkward. You know, to, like, keep them on there. They would just look really big and bulky, especially when he doesn't have the gun in them. It would just be like, okay, now he's got these big, giant, empty pockets on his, you know, wherever. Now I'm looking at it, it's like he has these things on his legs here. I don't know what these are. I guess it's ammo or something. If he has these here, I don't know where his guns possibly could go, unless he does have, like, an underarm holster. Like, this is probably an underarm holster, in which case they'd go, like, under his jacket. Now, you know, you can kind of stick them in there, and just, like, they'll wedge in there, and they won't have a holster, but they look kind of silly. They do stay. But yeah, I don't know where his character could have possibly keep them if he's got, like, these ammo belts or whatever these are on his thighs. But yeah, he doesn't have holsters, so either you have to have him holding the guns, or he's not going to have them on the figure at all. But anyway, what is this? Where was I? So look at the jacket here. So you can see the 2 layers of the jacket. The hoodie underneath, the leather jacket, and you can see he's got some pocket details here. The sleeves are, like, you know, they've got some white from the top, and then a little bit on the elbow, and then all the way around. He's got padding up here. The back is really cool. He's got the Batbird logo, you know, just slapped on there like he did it himself. And then he's also got, like, it looks like he got, like, sliced by a knife in the back, and then stitched his jacket shut again, which is really cool detail. And that might be, like, an element in the story, who knows. You can see back here he's got some more, like, ammo sticking out of his belt. He's got pockets on his butt, which is, like, maybe a silly thing to point out, but a lot of figures don't have that. And you can see all the straps for his shin guards and his ammo, or whatever this is, again, all on the legs here. It's got lots of wrinkles in the pants. These are really sculpted really well, and these are in, like, a rubber, but they're attached. Well, you can even see, like, a buckle on his wrist here. That's unlatched, and you can see the hoodie elastic band around his wrist, which is really cool. Gloves with the little thingies on the knuckle dusters. Is that it? Belt in the front. Looks really cool. And then he's got these big old, like, shin guards, armor, which is got this little battle damage on it. Some metallic, you know, metal color. It's got a little bit on the boot there. Yeah. So, really, really nice detail on this guy. Awesome sculpt, awesome paint work. I mean, you know, the holsters, they don't really bother me too much. Everything about this guy is really cool, and, you know, most likely you're going to want him holding the guns anyway, I'd imagine. Unless you're going for a particular, like, scene or pose or something where you don't want him to have them. But, speaking of posing, let's go to articulation, because surprisingly, they're really doing pretty well with this DC Collectibles. I think they're really starting to get a feel for, you know, combining, like, good sculpt with good articulation, not going crazy, not, you know, causing poor quality control. Speaking of, they have stopped using clear pegs, or at least in places where it counts. Leg joints are usually pretty important, and they don't have the clear pegs in there anymore, so good on them. Really psyched to see where DC Collectibles goes from here. This whole Arkham line looks really good, so anyway, articulation. So, like I said, the head is under this hood that you don't really want to, like, pull too hard, or it's going to unstick from the coat, but his head underneath will turn. If you push on it, it'll go side to side. I think it is on like a ball joint in there, but it doesn't move up or down really. If it is, it just goes side to side anyway. So you're not going to get too much going on with that unless you rip your hood off because you don't like it and you want to work something else out there. But he has an ab crunch, like I said, about the pegs. Some people find that theirs are pretty frozen out of the package, but just be careful or apply some heat and you should be good to go. It goes pretty far forward. Let's see. Pretty far forward there, which is really cool. And then it doesn't really go back. I'm not sure if it's the joint itself or the fact that he's got like this coat. I know it's a flexible coat, but it does hit back here. I think it's just the joint, it doesn't go back, but I think that's okay. He's got arms that will go all the way up to here, go all the way around. They do have a bicep swivel. They have double jointed elbows, which go all the way in, which is awesome. Twist at the wrist and a hinge. Excellent. He has a waist twist. He has T-jointed hips that will go out about that far. So that's not so great, but it's, you know, it's a lot better than nothing, and it's better than some. I mean, please, this is about how far the new Marvel Legends Spider-Man went out, and he's supposed to be a super flexible character, so, you know, these rubbery pieces, you know, flex when you do that, so that's cool. They'll go forward about that far, and not really back, just a little bit. He has a cut underneath this strap, which is really cool. It's like totally hidden under there. He has double jointed knees as well, which is really cool. They will go all the way up like that. I'm finding that my knee joints are slightly loose. Like, yeah. Just, it might be just from playing with it. But, you might need to just tighten that up just a smidgen. And I have to say the shin armor looks pretty darn weird if you start bending the whole knee like this. But hey, you know, whatever. What else? He's got the ankles that will go forward and back like such, and they have an ankle pivot, which is really cool. I'm so happy that DC Collectibles is starting to incorporate this Hasbro style rocker, but they still need some practice because it's not quite as effective as it should be. When you think about it, it's supposed to be, and let me grab someone who's nearby here. Yeah, Winter Soldier, which is an interesting counterpart to Red Hood here. You're supposed to be able to, you know, take this ankle and just turn it so that when you slide this these T-jointed hips out, they can still have a flat stance. Oops. And of course, I'm screwing this up. But yeah, that's the idea really, is why you want to have these pivots. If you try to do that with Red Hood, his ankle rocker kind of doesn't twist quite the right way. Let's see if you can see what I'm talking about here. This one's a little tight. So if you like stretch out his, and you want him to go flat-footed, he has to point his toe. I don't know if you can see that. Like, this is the only way to get his leg out far and then flat-footed. Like, he has to point his foot, which isn't what's supposed to, you know, happen. It's supposed to be like Winter Soldier and still point the toes forward. It's supposed to be just like you're, you know, trying to do a split. So something in here, they've got it twisted. I don't know if it maybe the shin armor or if they're not carving out enough of this foot or what, but it's just not quite there. But they're definitely giving it a go, and I appreciate that, and it's certainly better than nothing. Like, you can get it to work if you're trying to go for a particular pose and you really need to nail it. If you just kind of twist it around, and if you don't mind his toes pointing a specific way, you can probably get it to work. So, definitely, you know, happy to see them going for it. And, you know, it's a work in progress from a company that didn't ever use something like this before, so. Yeah, 20 minutes, wow. Yeah, I really do like this figure, so I had a lot to say about it. Yeah, I still want to get some of that future floor polish stuff and try that for tightening joints as opposed to super glue. And he could use a little bit of that on his knees here. But, oops. Yeah, I think that's about it. I like what DC Collectibles is doing. I really like this figure, even though I'm not much of a gamer. This, you know, he can... I'm really hoping that the next, like, series of figures from this game will include the new Arkham Knight design for Nightwing and Robin, because they both look really cool. Obviously, Nightwing I'll pick up, gamer or not. I'm getting any Nightwing figure that comes out pretty much. And the Robin looks really cool, and if I don't pick it up, I'm sure Todd will. So yeah, I'm hoping they do those two in the next wave, because they both look really awesome like this. And I love the new Nightwing design for Arkham Knight, as far as I've seen anyway from the pictures and stuff. It's a little bulky on the armor, but I love the fuller face mask, and it just looks really cool. And they finally gave him like a good haircut and a good face that looks like Nightwing to me, and not some weird, like, someone who's dressed like Nightwing. I know it's a fictional character, but they're just artists that draw, you know, that Nightwing, and you say, wow, that looks like Nightwing, and then there's ones that, like, it doesn't. And the same thing with character design for a video game. So yes, anyway, tangent. So yeah, this has been my review of the DC Collectibles Batman Arkham Knight GameStop exclusive Red Hood figure. By the way, he is $24.99, I believe. I don't know if the stores actually carry him in the store. I went over to my store and pre-ordered it there, and they obviously shipped it to the store. I don't know if it was like a special order or if they got like a case of them and they have them sitting out now. You can also buy it online, but you have to pay shipping, so it's more like 30 bucks. So I got mine for like 27 after tax. A little pricier than your average DC Collectibles these days, but you know, definitely worth it to me and you know, he was a GameStop exclusive, so you don't have much of a choice. But yeah, so again, thank you guys for watching. I definitely recommend this figure if you're even the slightest fan of Red Hood or Batman or Arkham Knight or the video games, etc. I hope you guys can, like, hear me okay, just with, like, all the noise going on outside. It's finally getting warm here, and I have my windows open, and it's kind of loud, so I'm sorry. But thank you guys again for watching. You'll get this figure, and I'll see you in the next review. Thanks again, guys. Bye.